Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Bongovai here for MMOBomb.com, and today I'm going to do a first impression gameplay video for ChronoBlade, a 2D side-scrolling action RPG developed by Nway, and I'm going to spend about 15-20 minutes or so checking the game out, making my usual style of commentary. As always, if you guys want to learn more about the game, you're always welcome to go to MMOBomb.com and check out the full game profile. So what exactly is ChronoBlade? Well, the easiest way to describe it would be if you have a dungeon brawler mixed in with an action fighting game such as DFO, or even if you compare it to maybe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time, it's that sort of gameplay where you have a bunch of enemies on screen, you can chain various combos, knock them up into the air, hit them with large combining attacks using light and heavier attacks, and you even get different characters to choose from. So right now in the beta, this is closed beta I should say, there are only two characters available. There's Arok here, which is sort of like a berserker warrior. He's got his dual wielding going on, hits people with his head, that kind of stuff. And then we have Lofi, which is sort of like an aggressive elemental based fighter. She actually has this sort of like sprite with her that she will throw at opponents, as well as dash around, hit them with elemental magic, etc. Both of these guys will actually level up independently, but they are sort of intertwined in the story together. So there's a reason why Lofi comes in later in the story, and we'll talk about all of that as we actually go ahead and start. So I'm going to choose Lofi for now, and we're going to go ahead and do a small introductory level here to begin with. I've kind of gotten farther on the other character, but I decided to show Lofi early on because I have the least amount of stuff unlocked for her. And Lofi will kind of give you an idea of what to expect for the higher levels. So to begin with, as you can see, there has a sort of dungeon layout that you would expect from games like Rusty Horror, DFO, those kind of games. You pick and choose your area, which determines the enemies as well as their difficulty. As you can see, you can get hard and heroic after completing it. So my skill tree here, as you notice here, I have only two abilities, Shadow Step, something big, and then I have a passive ability called Heavy Hand, which increases my damage. And we'll show you the skill tree after we go ahead and go through an introductory level here. So as you notice, once we load up in here, you have this sort of side-scrolling action. I'm using the left, up, down, and right mouse or arrow keys on my keyboard, while I'm using a combination of S and D to stream my attacks. As you can see there, I just leveled up, but what you're able to do is sort of have a lot of these fluid attacks. Now these enemies themselves right here are very easy to kill, so this is not really letting me get a huge combo going, but you'll see here in a minute, we'll probably get something like 20-30 combos going once a lot of these enemies come on the screen at once. Now I can change up the combos by actually jumping into the air as well, and depending on if I hit like D and S, or SSD, I'll be able to actually create completely new combos. And this is very important because later on, enemies at higher level will actually block certain combinations, meaning that you'll have certain tactics that you have to use for certain particular enemy types that won't work for others. Alright, so I'm just using sort of basic stuff right now. Now you notice I have two abilities as well. My first ability teleports me to an enemy, the closest enemy, and will actually knock them up in the air. It's a good gap closer, and it will stun them in the air as well. Now one of my other cool sort of combos that I can do is if I start to chain it up, I'll actually knock them up in the air, and I can knock them across the map. This game is all about fast action and quick combos, and seeing basically how high you can actually string the combos at once. You'll notice here that sort of like counter will go up and up in the right hand corner, and the higher it goes, the sort of like more it gets pumped up, and the more it starts to like alter the screen and sort of get like electricity going, etc. Now my second ability is jump something big, will make me extremely large. It makes me big essentially, and it gives me a bonus damage, bonus range, and all of my abilities as well. And I basically just can kick the living crap out of all of these little gremlins and spiders and whatnot, not a problem. But again, this is just the introductory level. This is just to get you accustomed to the game. So I got a score of 30 there. It's not too bad. I've gotten, I think, 51 at the max. But as you can see, once you're done with the area, you progress on, much like you would in all the old sort of fighting games on the SNES, Streets of Rage, that kind of stuff. That has a very Streets of Rage feeling to it, although with a lot of quick combos here. And as long as the enemies keep coming, you can just keep racking it up and up and up. Now I should mention that characters can interrupt you, and in fact there will often be abilities that they use that have or cannot be interrupted, meaning that you can't just spam an attack on them non-stop to take them out. And if you notice here, what I'll actually do is I've come to this character and I hit A, I'm actually able to dodge and dodge roll. So if his characters hit me, I'll be able to dodge or you know, absorb the blow, but I can also kick them away. So if you have someone who's trying to like interrupt you, you can kick them away if you time it correctly. Just picking up some items there. Now, this game, Nway, the company behind the game, has sort of a few notable individuals that work for the company. Mainly, they have someone who helped develop Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, one of the main developers of the original Diablo series, as well as one of the main developers of the original Grand Theft Auto. So there are certainly individuals here who know what they're doing in terms of game balance and game design, who have worked on previous AAA titles in the past. This isn't sort of just like your random Korean company creating sort of a dungeon-based fighting MMO. Now, right now the game, like I said, is in closed beta. What that means is normally in the full release you're going to be able to party up with up to 4 individuals to accomplish these dungeons, etc. Honestly, I'd say if you enjoyed like Darkblood and you're looking for something else to play in the meantime, since Darkblood was actually closed, I would definitely say give this a try. Because it sort of has the same fluid, fast action combat that Darkblood would have if you want to compare it to another free-to-play MMO. But like I said, the closed beta right now doesn't actually have support for multiplayer, although the full release, oop, you got me there, the full release will actually have, there we go, that was a good little combo. And you actually kick him in the corner as well. Now I should mention that different characters have different combos, so they don't actually all use the same ability combinations or the same key combinations to create crazy attacks. Now we're starting to get things going. Let's keep this going here. 31, 39, 44, 45. Oh man, I almost had it. I would have killed that guy. I probably got to get like 50. She has an ability that allows her to like spin her little fairy in front of her, and that racks up quite a lot of combinations. So we'll continue on to the next spire area here. So I actually have to go through these eggs in order to move forward. Now the story in this game is essentially, oh yeah, by the way, those are hazards. And because of that, I can actually knock them into the hazards and they'll damage them, and I can get points for killing them within that. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Savage. Get out of the way here, those pesky gremlins. There we go. This guy over here is just getting too close. But like I was saying, currently the beta doesn't have support for the 4-player, nor does it have support for the PvP in the game, although it does have support for the tournament mode, which allows players to compete for like the highest score, highest combos, etc. And that actually is posted on the leaderboards, which is quite interesting. There's even prizes that you can get, like items, cosmetic items, you know, you can get better equipment, etc. by competing in that, and they happen every few hours. Now early on, you don't really have to use your abilities at all. You can pretty much just do it. By the way, this is the sort of in-level boss. He does hit quite hard. You do have to kind of dodge his attacks when possible. And again, this is where I can use my A key there to sort of dodge any ability. So you have to make sure to, oh, I think that's some toxin roll out of that. You do have to make sure to watch your back because you can't dodge behind you, obviously. Which does mean you need to make sure that nobody gets behind you or you don't get cornered. If you get cornered, you are in big trouble. And we'll talk about how that works when you take damage and die once I get up to the other character. Because right now it's pretty much very difficult to die unless you really don't know what you're doing. This is just, again, the introductory boss. Very easy to take out. Doesn't do a lot of damage to you. And at the end of the game, it actually will score you and tell you how well you did. So I got a satisfactory. And because I leveled up as well, I can go ahead and show you the skill level system. Alright, so let's go ahead and back out of here. I can just back out of this, and then I can go to the skill tree. So as you can see, I have 2 points available right now, and they have the 2 trees, Summoner and Shadow. Each of these trees offer a variety of sort of playstyles, and the developers have really done a good job of making it so that you don't really have to or feel compelled to go down one particular tree. You can sort of mix and match, as you can see here. Obviously, if you put more points into a particular ability, it gets stronger, allowing you to have a more advanced version of that ability and unlocking new abilities as well. So that right there, I finished out something big, but I don't really want any more of that. So I can spend another point here to get my trait increase, which increases my damage from 6 to 7%. Not very much, but it's better than nothing. Traits are sort of the passive abilities that you get in the game. You can have up to 4, and then you can have up to 4 active abilities as well. The developers have stressed that you can make builds of a variety, so you can have all passive abilities, meaning that all your traits as well as all your active abilities really only have passive benefits, making you more based around your combos. And in fact, there will be abilities and there are sort of traits that you can actually unlock that, like this for example, like Shadow Heavy Hand, which increase damage just based on your basic attacks, not based on your abilities. So you have that option to sort of tailor how you want to play in order to create a unique experience. Now I did pick up a lot of inventory items through that run. I thought I did. I guess they aren't showing up on this character. This character's been a little bit buggy recently, but they would show up here and I could actually then slot them into the different areas. Certain items will have different traits in them. You get armor, you get HP, intellect, damage, strength, etc. And in fact, if I go to my other character, you can see a little bit more robust build that I have on this guy here. If I go back to my inventory, you'll notice here I have a variety of weapons. These in this case are blue weapons, so I get +1 maximum energy, +1% chance of critical hits from physical attacks. So that's very much like Diablo or Torchlight, where you get additional sort of stats and effects based on what items you actually equip. Now I will mention really quickly, now that we're actually looking at this, if we go ahead and back out of this really quickly and go to the store, you may notice that the store does offer the opportunity for players to purchase sort of enhanced gear that is level appropriate. Now I don't know, since I'm not high level, I don't know how much this actually affects the end game, but as you can see, there are quite a lot of pages of these, all the way up to level 27 or level 25 I believe is the cap currently in the beta. Let's look here. Yeah, level 25 is the gap, so you can purchase the items. The gold itself is something that you obviously accrue in the game, but the other items, these sort of crystals, this is something that is a cash shop item. So I'm not really sure about actually, in fact, it almost looks pay to win when it looks at the equipment in terms of you're able to purchase items that have a great deal additional, in this case, armor or HP. You know, you can see there are quite a few boosts that you can actually get. Like this one over the base gives me +29 armor and plus physical damage. This one gives me +16 armor. So it really comes into question whether or not that's balanced. Again, this is closed beta. This could all change, and in fact, I do hope it changes, because I don't think a lot of players would enjoy, you know, paying for the best gear outright. This may not be the best gear though. This may just be the gear that is available in the shop. If you want to pay for it, there may be a lot better gear available at the higher levels. But so far, what I've seen is the best gear is available currently, what I've seen of my level, in the shop. Healing potions you can buy with 400 gold, and we'll talk about that as we actually jump into our next match. Now that I'm on my higher level character, I can go to the world tournament here, and as you can see, I've already progressed up through these. One thing I will mention, and I haven't actually done Highland Pass here yet, this is a sort of boss level. Each of the levels themselves have a mini boss, I guess you can say, at the end, but this one appears to be a high level sort of end boss of the zone. One thing I wanted to mention was it seemingly out of nowhere gets super difficult. So the level right before this I probably did, I don't know, 10 times to pass it, whereas those introductory levels I've done many times, very easy to actually do. It ratchets up very quickly. Since the Bifrost spawns worlds, guardians have been sent to watch it, but the tainted of the eater, I don't know how to say that, the locals speak of it. It seems to have affected these guardians as well. I will challenge these guards and gain passage. I'm afraid you'll have to, and these are the being of legends, it's hard to know what to expect. Even if we knew what they had been, we can't know what they have become now. It matters not. If the bridge still stands, I will cross it. This guy is all about, he's just gonna blunt force his way through. So the storyline in this game, oh, what are these guys? So the storyline in this game is essentially, there are these multi-dimensional Earths, and basically these Earths coexist peacefully. They don't actually interact with each other. In fact, most of the different Earths don't actually know of each other, but there have been these sort of chrono keepers, essentially. There have been these different chrono individuals that have been going through changing history, you know, invading these lands and essentially doing all kinds of bad stuff. Now what's going on here? Now I've actually never fought these guys before, so this will be the first time. It looks like they put some bombs down. Alright, let's come out here, see if we can get these guys. Now you notice that some of them will do special attacks. When they do like that, when they glow gold, what that actually does is mean they're telegraphing a attack that cannot be interrupted. There's really no way to interrupt it other than if you get a user special ability that will interrupt for you. So my abilities on this guy, one of them is a shout, and the shout is depending on how many individuals are around me, it actually grants me a bonus to damage. So my guy is all about dealing out a ton of like brute force in your face damage. He like pulls up the earth, actually takes the earth out of the ground and smashes people. So as you can see here, I'm able to do a lot of quick combos and sort of tear up the earth around me and bash these guys up into big groups. He's really about clumping up guys in order to do the maximum damage or brute force right in his face. Oh, this guy's shooting me right in the... right in the... You gonna laugh at me? No. Now, if you actually time it correctly, I can dodge it. If you time it correctly, the dodge, you'll actually will break his attack. Anyway, that's great. Come on. Nope. There we go. You'll actually break the attack and be able to counterattack quite quickly. Counterattacking this game is very important because once you get like 4 or 5 of those guys all telegraphing attacks at once, it can be very hard to dodge them simultaneously. So what do we got here? So these guys are obviously coming through dimensions. That's what you're seeing them do. And I'm basically here to stop them from doing that. Now I can jump up and sort of do a belly flop, which is my sort of attack. And I can also push those guys in the walls. Now I'm going to have to use a health potion here. As you can notice, if you're not careful and kind of keep the combo going, these guys will very quickly start to overwhelm you. Lucky for me, I'm able to salvage quick really here. Kind of knock these guys around. I use a lot of brute force and just knocking them with my noggin and whatnot, but I'm on murderous now. Unfortunately, I lost it there the second. So the difficulty ratchets up quite quickly. After you get past this sort of spider introductory levels, you start fighting these sort of guys. And these guys, the level before this, even this level is much easier than the level before this because you have a bunch of these, essentially these swordsmen. And when they are all grouped up, what is that? A Spengen. When they all grouped up, they knock you around silly. Now, it actually requires you to use quite a lot of potions. The potions are about a 60-second cooldown timer, but they cost about 400 gold each. And if you notice, I'm not really accruing gold very quickly here, which is extremely unfortunate because you're going to go through, I suspect, higher levels. You're going to go through potions quite quickly. Because think in mind, this is just the normal mode. So this isn't even the most difficult mode in the game. This is simply normal. And so you would expect that you'll use a couple potions. Now, if you actually die in this game, you can spend gold or you can spend the cash shop credit. Kick that guy back. You can spend the cash shop credit. Get out of here. Knock this guy back here. This guy with his pesky bombs, so annoying. You can spend the cash shop credit to also revive yourself. But it's kind of unfortunate that they wouldn't actually include some sort of... Get out of here. Knock you up in the air. There is an attack that I want to try to do where I essentially will knock them up and then I'll knock them down. There we go. So I can knock them up in the air and knock them down. It's quite nice. Alright, so there's the sword guys where I mentioned. They do that attack that's uninterruptible, and if you get a bunch of them doing it at once, get out of here. It's incredibly difficult to deal with, but luckily I have special abilities. Come on and smashing. Ugh! Do that there, which kind of like mini stuns them. I can start dealing with them. Get out of here. I really need to deal with these guys like quickly. These guys are so annoying. Just need to make sure not to get myself back in the corner too much. And then I can take out this guy alone. Oh no, he kicked me back into the fray of them. Oh, I'm low. Okay. Oh man, I didn't even notice how low I was. Luckily I used my potion, but I mean, like I said, this is just normal mode. And again, the gear I'm using actually has a few of the cash shop pieces in it because I found the game to be incredibly difficult, and I did notice oh yeah, I forgot to mention, they can block too, which is extremely annoying, especially when you're doing a combo and all of a sudden they start blocking. Oh my god, we're dealing with a boss here. Sakuro the Heart Crusher. I'm just going to walk by him. I'm going to use my second. By the way, they're on separate cooldowns, I think. Maybe not. Can I use it? Click it. No, I can't use it. Okay. We gotta dodge a little bit. So let's... Alright. Nope. Nope. You're not going to do that. We're just going to say no. Alright, almost Almost can use it. Almost can use it. I would be a lot more ballsy right now, but like I said, they're on a pretty long cooldown. And before, I thought I could actually use them simultaneously. But now I'm having problems. I can't use any of them, guys. Holy crap. Well, it is beta. It happens. So let's see if we can accomplish this without any health potions. Alright. Need to watch out. Don't do your slides. Alright, there you go. Oh, no. Don't run away. Alright, whew. So, I mean, you have to really watch yourself. If you don't watch yourself, then he can start doing crazy stuff. Oh, like that. Alright. Block, 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 block. Block. No! I thought I could block that. Oh, man. Alright, I'm low, guys. I'm super low. Oh, yes. Finally, I completed that. I was so close. Let's go ahead and knock this open so I can get whatever treasure. And I got an A. Nice. We'll go ahead and pick up all of that. So it is very difficult, I have to say. At higher levels, it can get extremely difficult. And I don't know how much this is actually balanced out when you have other people. I don't know if it actually increases the difficulty when you have more players. But at least from a single-player perspective, I had to do that quite a lot. And I wasted all my original gold. As you can see, I only have 300 gold out of all that. They really need to increase the amount, I have to say, from here to... I don't know why that keeps showing up. From here... to the final game, because I don't feel like you accrue it quite quickly enough at all. Either they need to lower the price that health potions actually cost, or they need to increase the amount of gold you actually get. Now, you may have noticed that it kept popping up on the screen every once in a while. I needed to mention to you guys, and I wanted to wait until later on the video once the game had a chance to sort of show itself. ChronoBlade is a browser-based game. Actually, specifically, it's more than a browser-based game. It is a... Let's go ahead and go back to, let's select him. I'll go back to the new area. The new opened area that I just did. Ah, I did that level. I don't know why it's showing up. I think the game is glitching out a little bit right now, unfortunately. Let's see if we go back to our other character. In fact, no, let me just go ahead and show you the skill character, skill tree rather, for this guy. So as you can see here, I've got 5 out of 5 brawler right now, which increases my armor. I needed that to be tanky. I also got sucker punch here, which is that large sort of shard that came out. I was sort of working towards grappling hook, which allows me to pull enemies into me with a whip of magic fire. So you get pretty cool looking abilities. You mean, look, we have a 10% chance to reduce the target's attack power, ice armor, which creates a shield around you, blindside, a vicious headbutt. So you get a permafrost, you can freeze all the guys around you. So you get a lot of different cool abilities. There's even an ability here where I believe your attacks will cause explosions. So that one does bleeding. Which word is it? Is it this one? There's one in here that actually causes explosions or sort of weird damage whenever you actually hit enemies, which I found to be pretty amazing. They have sort of cool combination abilities whenever you get critical chances for explosions and whatnot. Is it this one? I don't know. One of these is really awesome. This one in itself, yeah, all critical chances or attacks have a chance to cause an explosion, damaging nearby enemies. That's pretty amazing. That's a pretty cool looking ability, I have to say. So I enjoy that quite a lot. Here, like I said, is the tournament mode. Essentially, you can play the tournament mode. You have to use a coin. These coins, I believe, regenerate after a certain amount of time. Let's see if we can go ahead and jump in this. And the tournament mode has sort of like restrictions and rules, regulations that define, you know, how the points are scored, etc. And at the end of the match, as you can see, or the top score rather, is where it actually shows your overall score. So on level 6 here, these guys are level 6. This is very much level appropriate. Now with the tournament mode, you can only, I believe, revive actually once. So you can't revive multiple times. It's all about your best score you can get without dying, I believe. Alright, so, oh, murderous! Let's keep this going here. Let's see if we can get to 100, guys. Maybe I can get to 100. Come on, come on, let's keep it up. Oh no, I lost it at the very end. But it was a great combination from my beginning. Alright. Knock those guys in the back there. But again, I do think they have some balance issues to do. They certainly need to balance out the, like I said, the health potions, etc. like that. There's even energy potions, which energy you get from actually attacking enemies consistently. That's how you're able to use your special abilities. But they need to either balance the early levels to do less damage, so you don't have to farm the early levels early on, and essentially, so you definitely don't have to use cash up items. Or they need to increase the damage characters do, or increase the gear available at early levels to allow you to deal with it if they want that difficulty to ramp up that much, because it certainly does ramp up quite quickly. Alright, so now I can use a potion there. Can't believe I finished that early one without any potions. That was incredible. Alright, so this is the final wave for this one. I really have to say the combat itself is extremely fluid, and if you enjoy like fighters like Dungeon Fighter Online, that kind of stuff, I can see a lot of people enjoying this as well, especially at later levels. I mean, these are sort of the early enemies in the game, but I can imagine later levels you experience, you know, a lot of, like you saw before, a lot of enemies in one area. Let's go ahead and just pile drive that guy. Go ahead and finish that guy off. Oh no, he exploded. Alright, all those guys in a row. Alright. How close am I? I'm about 3/4 of the way to level 7. Alright, come on. This is perfect. They're all grouped up. Multi-kill, and I believe it also hit them in the wall, which does additional damage. I like the fact that it interacts with the environment. That is something that, you know, we don't see a lot of times. We see sort of minimal... Oh, I keep blowing up. I gotta use a potion. Can I use a potion? Maybe I can't. It's bugged out again. Dang it! One thing I would like to see is sort of increasing the amount of experience you gain. Oh god. Those guys are level 8. I'm not even level 8, guys. I'm in trouble. Maybe I can do it. Maybe I can do it, guys. Don't self-explode. No! Whoa! I missed him. No! Ah, whew! Oh man, guys. I don't know how I'm still living. Oh, I failed. I finally fell down. So as you see, once you've died, and this goes for normal mode or the tournament mode, you'll be given an option to revive. It costs a freaking 1,800 gold to revive. I don't know how much gold they're going to give you to start. They gave me about 3,000 to 4,000 to start with, but that is a ton of gold to require to get revived. Or you can use of course, the currency. And I don't really, I don't like that so much. They really need to bring that down. You can play it again to use another coin, but I'm going to say no. I'm just going to go ahead and exit there. But hopefully at least it still does give me experience. And I hit the top 100, but I don't know how many actually there are, so that doesn't matter so much, I guess. But overall, guys, that has been my first impression. I should mention, all this time, it is browser-based. It is also played on the Facebook, but the developers have stated that they want to progress the game out into other avenues, specifically download, etc. I should mention that because this is Flash-based, it is Flash-based, there is absolutely no download. So unlike Unity, for those of you who do play Unity games on the browser, there is no need to download a 300 or 400 megabyte plugin, etc. It's completely pick up and play, which is very nice. I don't like it being on Facebook because I don't like really doing anything on Facebook. So if the developers brought this to another browser based platform other than Facebook, or make it a download, I can definitely see a lot more players playing it. But anyways, guys, this is going to be my first impressions for ChronoBlade. If you guys want to learn more, as always, check down below at MMOBomb.com for the full profile. Spunkify out. Later, guys.